Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss third topic of our third chapter, that is periodicity and its cause, and then we will study about atomic radius, its types, and how it varies in group and in a period. Okay, so these two things we are going to study in detail. Now, first of all, what is periodicity? Periodicity is the recurrence of elements with similar properties after certain interval when these are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number is called periodicity. So what is periodicity? When we arrange the known elements in the increasing order of their atomic number, then we will see that after a particular period there is repetition of the similar properties. So it means periodicity, that is defined as periodicity. Now after how much interval it gets repeated, or after how many elements there is a repetition of similar properties, it is 2, 8, 8, 18, 18 and 32. These are also known as magic numbers. Okay, now the question arises, why we observe this, why periodicity is observed. So what is its cause? So what is the cause? When we arrange the elements in the increasing atomic number and we write the electronic configurations, just like we have taken uh, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Okay, then what we will see, those elements which have similar valence shell electronic configuration, they will have similarity in properties. Okay, means if we move from lithium to sodium, then we have to move by 8 elements, and then similarity in property will occur. Why it is occurring? Because when we move from lithium to sodium, then there is similar valence shell, there is one electron in the valence shell of the two atoms. Okay, now when we see for other elements, then also those elements in which there is presence of only one valence electron in the valence shell, they show similarity in the property. Okay, so what is the cause? Cause of periodicity is the recurrence of similar electronic configuration after the fixed interval of time. Okay, now let us come to atomic and ionic radius. Okay, now see, atomic radius is of three types: covalent radius, metallic radius, and van der Waals radius. Okay, now from the name itself we can have little bit idea that how they will be. Covalent radius means it will be in those compounds where covalent bond exists. Okay, metallic radius will be there where metallic bond exists, and van der Waals radius will be there where existence of very weak forces of attraction is there. Okay, so let us define what are these different atomic radii. First of all, covalent radius. It is half of the internuclear distance between the two covalently bonded atoms. So if we are having two covalently bonded atoms, then half of the internuclear distance is called covalent radius. Now metallic radius. If we take a particular metal, then the half of the internuclear distance separating the metal cores in the metallic crystal is called metallic radius. Okay, now in case of copper, two atoms are separated by a distance 256 picometer, so their metallic radius is taken as half of this. Okay, it is the internuclear distance between the two touching copper atoms in the copper crystal. Okay, now van der Waals radius. In case of van der Waals radius, we have to see the two nearest non-bonded atoms. Okay, they should be two atoms and they should be non-bonded, and they should be the nearest ones. Okay, then we will take half of the internuclear distance of the two, then that will be van der Waals radius. Now you can compare these three. Covalent radius means this is one atom and this is another atom. There is merging of the electron clouds. Okay, now the distance of the centers is this. Half of this is called covalent radius. In case of metallic radius, what will be there? Atoms will just touch each other like this, and then the distance of the centers will be this, and half of this will be metallic radius. Now for van der Waals radius, see, this is one covalently bonded atom, this is another covalently bonded atom. Now this atom and this atom, they are nearest, but they are non-bonded. So this distance and its half, that will be termed as van der Waals radius. So from these three diagrams, you can clearly see that what is having the maximum value, this will have maximum value, then this will come and this will have the minimum value. Okay, so these are the three types of radii. Now let us see in general how can we say atomic radius. Now here there are two atoms A and B. Now RA represents this represents the radius of this, and this represents the radius of this. Okay, now why or how we have taken this RA? RA is equal to half of the whatever is its diameter. See, this is its diameter, and we have taken half of this, and that becomes its radius. Similarly, this is the diameter, and we have taken half of this, and this becomes its radius. Okay, in general, when we take a particular bonded atoms, any bonded atoms, then it is half of the internuclear distance. Okay, this is in general. Otherwise, for a particular atom, if we want to define atomic radius, then it will be distance of the outermost shell from the nucleus. Okay, this will be the definition of atomic radii in general. Now atomic radii is of three types we have discussed, so it is just general discussion that what we mean by a atomic radius. So it is just like radius of a circle. Okay, now let us discuss covalent and van der Waals radii with diagram. Okay, now see, here you are able to see two covalently bonded atoms. Now see, this is one molecule which is covalently bonded, this is another molecule which is covalently bonded. This is one atom, this is second atom. Okay, now see, this has been shown here. Okay, this has been shown here. Now this outline which you can see, this outline, this shows the electron cloud. Okay, and this one and this one, this show the nucleus. Okay, now if these two, this one and this one, these two are covalently bonded, then this internuclear distance is this much, and this, its half, will be termed as covalent radius. Okay, so covalent radius is, in this case, whichever molecule we have taken, in case its internuclear distance is 198 picometer, then radius will be 99 picometer. Okay, now when we see this molecule and this molecule, then this atom and this atom, these two are non-bonded nearest atoms. Okay, now when we take their internuclear distance, this one and this one, when we take this distance, then it is this much, 360 picometer. Now if we take its half, which is 180, then it becomes van der Waals radius. Okay, so covalent radius means the two atoms should be covalently bonded, whereas van der Waals radius means the two atoms should be non-bonded and should be the nearest ones. Okay, now it comes to ionic radius. Okay, now ionic radius is the radius of ions. Now, how ions are formed? Ions are charged species. They are formed either by loss of electron or by gain of electron. In case there is loss of electron, then positive ion is formed and that is called cation. If there is gain of electron, then negative ion is formed and it is called anion. Now, the species which is called cation has radius called cation radius. The species which is called anion has radius which is called anionic radius. Okay. Now, one question comes that cation is smaller in size than its parent atom, whereas anion is larger in size than its parent atom. So, why it happens? What is the reason? So, let us discuss the reason. Okay, now see, when we talk about cation, how cation is formed? Cation is formed by the loss of electrons. Now, when an atom loses electrons, then nucleus remains the same. There is no change in the nucleus. If there is no change in the nucleus, then there is now when cation is formed, then what happens? Total number of electrons around the nucleus that decreases, but nuclear charge remains the same. So, what is the effect? Overall effect? Overall effect is that same nuclear charge has to attract a lesser number of electrons. Now, what happens because of this? Because of this, the effective nuclear charge is more and attractive power is more, and so size decreases because all the electrons are pulled towards the center, towards the nucleus with more power. So, size of cation becomes less. Now, when we talk about anion, then reverse is the case. What happens in case of anion? In case of anion, there is addition of some electrons. It may be minimum one or more than that. So, what happens? Now, again, nuclear charge remains the same. Again, nuclear charge is same, but same nuclear charge has to attract more electrons. So, it means effective nuclear charge decreases. Effective nuclear charge decreases. So, when effective nuclear charge decreases, it means attractive force is less, and if attractive force is less, then size will increase. Okay. And one more factor comes over here. When there are more electrons, then there is more repulsive force. If there is more repulsion, then again size increases. Okay. So, this was for ionic size. Now, one more thing comes, isoelectronic species. Okay, now see, what do we mean by iso? Iso means same. What is same? Electron. Such species in which there is presence of similar number of electrons, they are known as isoelectronic species. So, this is important question which is asked. What do we mean by isoelectronic species and what is the order of their sizes? Okay. So, how we will define? We will say that those species, it may be atoms or ions, which have the similar number of or same number of electrons, they are called isoelectronic species. Now, we have taken these examples. From these examples, what can we see? N has 7 electrons, but when it forms N3 negative, which is called nitride ion, then number of electron becomes 10. In case of oxygen, there are 8 electrons, but when it forms O2 negative, then number of electrons become 10. In case of sodium, there are 11 electrons, but when it loses 1 electron, the number again comes out to be 10. Similar is the case with Mg2 positive and Al3 positive. So, one thing is that all these ions have 10 electrons. Second thing is, when we move from nitrogen to aluminium, then what happens? There is increase in the nuclear charge. Okay, because nuclear charge is equal to charge on the nucleus. Charge on the nucleus is because of neutrons. No, because of protons. And so, number of protons are 7 in case of nitrogen and 13 in case of aluminium. And it is continuously increasing as we move from nitrogen to aluminium. So, what do we find? We find that When we are moving from N3 negative ion to Al3 positive ion, then nuclear charge is increasing, but number of electrons are same. Now when 7 positive charge has to attract 10 electrons, and when 13 positive charge has to attract 10 electrons, then where will be the attractive force more? It will be more in the case of Al3 positive. And so size of Al3 positive will be minimum and size of N3 negative will be maximum. Okay, so what we can say? We can say that size of isoelectronic species decreases with increase in nuclear charge. Okay, now let us see how atomic radii means it may be uh, anyone, it may be ionic radius, it may be covalent radius, it may be metallic radius, it may be van der Waals radius. Okay, in general we give the term atomic radius or atomic radii. So when we move in a group, what is group? These vertical columns are called groups. So when we move in a group, it means when we move from top to bottom, then what we find, there is increase in the atomic radius. Why there is increase? Because when we move from top to bottom, there is increase in the main energy level. Okay, so because of increase in the main energy level, there is increase in the atomic radii. So this is clear from the diagram also. When we are taking group 1 members and when we are moving from lithium to cesium, then we can clearly see there is increase in the radius. Okay, for lithium it is 152 picometer and for cesium it is 262 picometer. Okay, now it comes to period. So when we move in a period, what is a period? Period is horizontal movement, means from left to right. So when we move from left to right or we move in a period, then what we find, there is addition of electron in the same main energy level. So because of this, what happens, attractive force is more as compared to effect of increased number of electrons, and so size goes on decreasing. Okay, so when we move from lithium to fluorine in second period, we can clearly find a decrease in the atomic radius. Okay, now whatever we have discussed today, you have to solve these home assignments on the basis of that. Okay, thank you.